this class. Don't want to get through an hour of it like I did yesterday and forget to record it. But good thing that was a class that I had previously done, so it was easy enough to just kind of shuffle that on. All right, so today we are covering websites and the mobile app. So the important thing for these is because it's an understanding that our platforms are interconnected, right? So our website experience for our consumer or the app experience for our consumer essentially is one and the same. So if you think about Netflix, right? So if you're watching Netflix from your desktop and you pause it and then you turn around and you pick it up on your tablet or your phone, it knows where you are, where you've been, and what you've been watching. So the user experience on the website and the app is exactly the same in that capacity, that once they've created an account, the things that they're doing and they're utilizing, they can do on either platform. So that's uber important. And it's uber important for you because now you can see what's going on and your level of engagement will continue to increase by their interactions. Right now you have the ability to see what properties they've been looking at. And before you had to have a market leader account and basically pay them $100 a month to kind of see that activity. Now you can see them every time they're clicking and liking or watching properties on their account. You can see that. That's going to continue to evolve. At the moment, like they may be hearting properties. They may even be messaging you about properties. They're working on streamlining that a little bit. But you can see how that's starting to function and see what kind of access you have from your desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And we're going to jump into the app, or I'm sorry, into the website. All right. Go here to my command page here. So from your home page, you're going to be able to go to sites. What used to be called sites is now called consumer. And that's down on the left-hand side. All right, my network seems to be running a little slow today at the house. Been working overtime. Oh, it just jumped on me. So anyways, down here on the left-hand side, you've got consumer right here. When you come in and you land into consumer, now if you build some things, then you'll land on this landing page platform. You've got agent site pages across the top. You've got guide builder. You've got site and app settings, and then you've got create a new site. So when you're creating a new site, whether it's a landing page or your website, this can be accessed through here. At the bottom, you've got configure your site. So if you haven't set up your website yet, you want to go through this Kelly guide. And so if you come in here and you want to use the new KW site, you're going to need to check on that. Misclicked something. There we go. And sometimes it's easier to edit your 3 pages your default pages directly by coming in through here. Go ahead and click on Get Started. Acknowledge and continue. And then you're going to come into this page. So if you're familiar with the builders, the Kelly guides that take place inside the platform, you'll know that on the left-hand or on the right-hand side, screen right, you're going to see things that you can edit. On the left-hand side, you're going to see what the user experience is all about. And you're going to make some changes on the right-hand side will immediately take place on the left-hand side. So you can see what effects is going to take place on your website. Now, I want to remind you, and I'm going to jump back out of here for a quick second, that there's a button that needs to be selected on your marketing profile. So if I can get off of this page real quick. You go to your settings at the top of your page. Here you go. And then on the left-hand side of that, you've got connect settings here. If you click that drop down, there's a marketing profile. Your marketing profile should be configured. That was class 1, right? And then right here is a green button that needs to be toggled on. Use this information to brand my agent site. If you filled this out and you turn this button on, a lot of the information will pull automatically over to your website and you won't have to re-enter a lot of things. So make sure you've done that first. I'm going to jump back here. I'm going to go back into the configure website guide here. get started. Acknowledge and continue. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is your subdomain. Now, I understand that many of you have custom vanity domains that you may have acquired from GoDaddy, and that's perfectly fine. Those can be forwarded to this subdomain. So remember, you've got to have your platform is provided to you on the kw.com platform, which is strength in numbers. So that works out really well for all of us. I recommend that everybody uses their name because that's name recognition, and most people are going to search for you online is by your name. And they may not know you by your team or if you legally have a team. We're not going to jump into that too much because there's certain parameters about how you market yourself, and you have to be an LLC and recognized to your license. So I do recognize that you use your subdomain here. If you are a bigger team and you're the Rainmaker and you want to put your team name here, by all means. But I recommend for the masses, you put your name as your subdomain and confirm that. Right below that, you click on the marketing profile information. You'll see that this is all pulling right over from the marketing profile. I think there's one thing on here that does not, it might be your job title is not pulling. One of them might be not pulling. So you'll see that some things are asterisked, and make sure you have that in there. We talked on day one about your 2 different profiles and the bios that you have. Remember, you've got your agent to agent facing bio, you've got your agent to consumer facing bio, and the bio on your your marketing profile page is your agent to consumer bio. So that's what's pulling across here. Fill out everything else. We don't need these compliance link footers here at the bottom, okay? So don't worry about adding anything there. Your imagery should pull headshot, DBA logo, and if you're on a team, your team logo. If you're not on a team, but you have a custom, right? A custom logo that you use for you, maybe it's your initials, you can utilize that too. So there's a way to kind of jazz up your site and use some different things. Your social media should pull across here. Now, if you change anything, it will also update to your marketing profile page, or it should. Doesn't always work out that way, right? And then you've got your app link down here at the bottom. If you're not sure how to get that, we'll talk to that on the second part of this class as we get into the mobile app. You can go out and update this information at any particular time. So save and continue. You've got 2 theme colors here. You can go dark. Okay, you'll see the KW changes from red to dark. I just leave it at red. I like KW red. You'll see here on your home screen, you've got Find Your Dream Home. This home page, which is called hero text. Sometimes you hear it called as hero, like you do here below. You can change this text. Maybe I just say, hey, work with Dave. You see how I'm changing it in real time? So you can put anything that you want right above that. I just haven't found out anything better than Find Your Dream Home, so I've just left that for now. I'll continue to play with it. Right below that, you've got Upload a Hero image. Now you'll see that the images that I have here are different than the default images that you guys may currently have on your website. It's because when they launched the platform, everybody had the same 5 photographs. So what you need to do is go in and update your photographs. There's 5 here. You have to delete them before you can upload anything else because you can only have 5. So there's you can use your photography that you've had from your houses, right? Those images. Make sure that the quality is good enough and the size is good enough. We'll talk about art structure. This is 12 by 12. That's wrong. It's 2,000 by either 500 or 700. So just make sure you're above that and you can size it in accordingly. If you go too big, it doesn't work either. But to make a high resolution with a minimum of 2,000 will get you into the right size framing here. So you can change those out and swap those out as necessary, right? And maybe it's a seasonal change for you guys to freshen up your website. Save and continue and move on. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So when you're building out, and the reason I said that was interesting is because I've already built this page, and I know it's on my website, so there just may be a small glitch in the system about maybe I'm in the profile page, but I know the page is created. So the 3 pages that are defaulted on your website is a company profile, an about me, and a contact us page. So you'll see that under your navigation. You could drag and drop the order of these. That's what, anytime you see these 6 grid bars, that means you can drag and move things around. So you'll see them throughout throughout the internet, basically, as you're building things, you've got this drag and drop type of mentality to a lot of things. So that's what these little codes are there for you. The next section you see is search engine optimization. So it's important that you're building these things in communication with Google, right? So that's what SEO, search engine optimization. So if you happen to be, I'll just, like a consumer, they tend to look you up online before they ever communicate with you, right? Helps if I spell my name right, huh? Slow down a little bit. When you land on a search page, what you see here, that's the title page, okay? They call it a meta title. And then right below it, you see your description. Now you can only control the meta title and the description on the pages that you own. So you'll see Facebook, you'll see LinkedIn, you'll see different places where your profiles are at, but you can't necessarily control the meta title description. But when you're on your website, like I am here, I can control what's showing up on these particular pages. And that's what takes place when you fill out the SEO here. So the page title might be David Donaldson, okay? The slug, as you see below here, the slug is everything that happens after the .com / about me, our team, search here, meet David, right? And you use dashes in between. That's how Google looks at spacing. So don't just run it all together. Go ahead and put proper spacing in there. And then you put an SEO description for this. So this is your meta title showing up here. And then this is your SEO description. So meta title is about 55, 57 characters before it drops off. And the SEO description is about 156 characters before that drops off. And you see ... on the Google results page. Anything I do here under SEO is not going to show up on the main body of the website. It's just in communication with Google. So your SEO should vary on every page that you build, okay? Because there should be description about what's on this page. Every page is different in what your target audience is, and that's how you show up in different results pages. And the more pages you have on the website, the better. So be conscious to building out your SEO description. Right below that, if I go ahead and reduce this, I've got content. So now my content here will control what I see on the left-hand side and what pushes through to my website. So on the company profile page, you can go about this from a couple of different angles. If you're an individual agent, you might put information about KW. You might put information about your market center, right? Because there's strength in numbers there. Or if you're on a team or on a team, this might be about your team. This could be your team page, okay? So that's what it can be here. So here it just might be, you know, I have on my website about the team that I'm affiliated with, okay? Again, you're not seeing that, but I'll show you some examples on my website when it's done. You can upload a new logo here. It says 2000 by 500. So this is what's going to change this banner image here in the back. Then you've got this intro paragraph, which correlates to right here, okay? This is 250 characters. That's how much you have in this space, okay? Then you've got two pre-built headings right here. They're each 500 characters. That's how much space you have in here, which shows up right here, okay? And then you can change the headline. Paragraph 1, that's what I'm trying to type there. And then you have the ability to upload a photo, which will show up right here. And that's showing you 360 by 360. We've got a secondary paragraph that you can add here, right? And then again, it's 500 characters. Now what I've done here at the bottom where it says footer headline, I've changed that out to be, and I've been coaching people up to use areas we service. And then in the description for that space, literally I'm just putting either in the city, the county, or the neighborhoods that I specialize in. I don't know if that's 500 characters in that paragraph, but you know, you'll run out of space eventually. So depending on, I've talked to agents, they have different mindsets. I don't want to limit and just say, hey, I just work in Vienna, Oakton, or Great Falls. I like to put that I'm Loudoun County, Fairfax County, Arlington County. There's no right or wrong there, right? I'm completely okay with it. I'm just giving you some options of what you have the ability to put in there. At the bottom of the page, you're going to see this is all information that's pulling over, your DBA, your logo, your contact information. This is all coming from your marketing page. You can't change the formatting of what's taking place here, but you can change the content by changing what's on your marketing profile page. All right, go ahead and continue to the next page. This is great because what's going to show up here automatically is your bio and your headshot. Now, we're on page 2 of the navigation now in the About Me section, and you still have SEO to deal with here, right? So About Me might be about David Donaldson. The slug might actually be my name like you saw on that page on Google, David Donaldson. And then my SEO, a little bit about me in 156 characters or less, what the consumer may find on this page. Then I've got the content. Your content should automatically default because you have your bio already built into the system. You could change this to maybe say about David Donaldson. You can change your title, right? You can put your bio title, which correlates right here. Then your bio will default. And then at the bottom of the page, you see contact David, my phone number, and my email address for my business. Pretty straightforward. You're building a website without much challenge here. Who knew you could do it, right? Not that difficult. Sometimes it's just knowing what to put in, how to fill in the box. What you cannot do, and you see that I've got spacing and paragraphs here. Right now, I can't format this. So it's just going to chunk everything together and process it. So we don't have that additional luxury to format this with bullets and yet. Right? Those things will start to come. Continue to the third page, and you've got this contact us page. So what I've done, again, so we're on page 3 of the navigation of the default pages and SEO, right? Contact us. I've changed mine, and I'll show you my site, okay, to Let's Have Coffee. And you'll see that I changed the contact us to Let's Have Coffee. I put the intro paragraph here that says meeting face-to-face is the best way to get to know each other and establish goals for your personal real estate interests. Then their captured information is here. And then there's a message. The message is basically asking them for information so that when I respond to them, I know what they're looking for. So that's what you're putting in here as their message. I just like to rewrite things a little bit so it sounds like it's coming from me, because this message is not the same for all of you. So you can tweak this out. I don't care if you use what's on my page. That's fine with me. You can change the Let's Have Coffee. My domain name here is daviddonaldson.net or daviddonaldson.kw.com will bring you to my website. I'm completely okay with you going in, clicking around, seeing what's on my website, right? You'll see if I go to my homepage here, what it looks like, my DBA, my logo, the imagery is different here, right? I've got my drop down where I have the company page, the company profile page is now about the team, right? So I changed my banner. I have a little intro here. Got a little bit about the team logo, which I got to work on that sizing a little bit. Then I added some of the mission statement from KW here. And you see the areas we service right below. So that's the company profile page. Meet David Donaldson was the About Me page. So here you'll see some of the changes that I've done here. Actually, you know what? The spacing is working there. So that's interesting. All right, so that's cool. And then the Let's Have Coffee. Now you're gonna see that, yes, I have some additional pages that I have built, like the mobile app. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Let me jump back here into command, save and continue. Congratulations, you've successfully built your page. Great job. When you X that out, you're gonna come back to your consumer page, okay? And if you go to agent site pages right here in the middle, at the very top in the middle, you're gonna see a link right here that's gonna allow you to click and jump right out to your website. So I'm gonna pause here for a second. I'm gonna open up my control panel. I wanna see what questions are out there. If anybody's in chat, also want to see if, there's Ted. Okay, so Ted, we're gonna have a guest presenter with us today. And he's gonna go into a little bit more detail in talking about building out some additional pages on your website. But before I jump into Ted and letting him control some things, I wanna make sure that there's no questions in accessing and launching your websites and walking through some of the things that we just taught. Is this the same class will be held tomorrow and Thursday at 10 a.m.? No, it's not. We're teaching different classes every day. However, this is being recorded. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to open up your mic or type something in. If I went over something too fast before we move ahead, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same space.
Hey, David. Kristen.
Hey.
Quick question. So my understanding is, and you may have said this, but the descriptions are limited in number of character, right? So we can't put a whole lot of content in there right now.
Right. So like if you look at Ted's sharing his screen, hold on there, Ted. When you go to Google, the meta title is 56 characters. The meta description is 156 characters. If you run long, they just have to click the show more button. I try to keep it as short as possible so that people don't have to click through.
I'm actually talking about the content on the pages.
Right. So the one paragraph is 250 on an intro, and the second paragraphs were 500 on the company profile page. Do not know the exact character amount from the bio that was pulling over. Now, as you add additional pages, you're going to be able to add a whole lot more.
So are there blank pages that
we're going to get to that?
So not yet. I mean, because again, I need the capacity to put in more content on the page.
We're going to get to that in this class.
Okay.
Yeah, we just covered the 3 default pages so far. We're going to show you how to add additional pages to your website.
Okay.
How do I link my domain name with GoDaddy to Playster? Well, I want to make sure you understand that this is not Playster anymore. This is your KW provided website. We moved away from Playster a couple of months ago, unless you are currently still paying Playster to host your website. Either way, with a custom domain, you can forward that from within GoDaddy. Maybe I'll send out a link. I've got that somewhere, or we can get to it at the end of the class, and I'll show you guys how to log into your GoDaddy account. And it's simply just a matter of forwarding. But if you had previously used Playster, there's a couple things that you need to change there from their domain. Because if you're going to your website and it says coming soon or it's not hosted, it's because some of the settings you need to go in and change. And I'll be sure to, somebody please remind me if I don't get to it at the end of the class to show you how to go into GoDaddy and make those changes. Making a note for myself here. Okay, is it possible to have a clickable link on my website on my profile page? Not at this point. You can't create hyperlinks on the pages that are defaulted to you, but you'll be able to do that on some of your custom pages that you build out. Make sure you're just covering everything. All right, perfect. All right, looks like we've got everything here. Ted, go ahead and share your screen. And Ted's going to step in and show you some advanced features on the website.
Let me see here. How's it going, everybody?
And why don't you take a minute and just kind of tell everybody where you're from, what your background is, and what you've been doing.
Yeah, so my name's Ted. I'm a rainmaker for a team down here in the southeastern area of Virginia in the Hampton Roads area. I'm with Keller Williams Elite Western Branch. One of the tech trainers. Super excited about taking on that role and helping our agents, implement and utilize this technology, especially in these shifting times. With that being said, I jumped into this command stuff at the right time. I feel like I came on board last year when command was just rolling out at Family Reunion. And I pretty much just adapted and embraced it from the beginning. And there's been some, obviously tweaks and learning curves along the way, but it gets better every single day. And we've been full command, my whole team, really since this time last year. So that's pretty much it about me. I don't like to talk too much about myself, but
That's all right. Is everybody seeing Ted's screen now?
everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So let me downsize this real quick. With the additional websites, and I'm going to jump to mine really quick here. So this is our team's website. Like David said, our agents have their own individual websites that they use to promote themselves and brand themselves and grow their business. I chose to brand ours to the team, to market the team and the business. That's pretty much what I've marketed since I've been in real estate. So everybody that knows me knows the team name. But as you can see, when we jump in here, we have the standard pages, obviously your search page up here. When we jump in here, and bear with me because our internet is being very slow today. So we're a little glitchy. But again, pictures, all the basic web pages that David went over here. I did put up at the top, we are promoting our app, obviously really heavy right now. So we do have our app page up here with the lead capture form down here at the bottom. All your branding should obviously be set up when you do set up these pages, with your Kelly guides being set up already. This is the only real thing I have about me, a little bit about me. Now, one of the things that we do use, this is one of the sub pages that I did create. We use it's a Google form that's attached, where we can basically, if clients, have like for a pre-listing appointment, things like that, we can show them links to this and go ahead and get them to fill that out, so we can kind of have that pre-listing or pre-buyer consultation filled in. I'll go into how to do that and connect up with the forms. And then again, we have one for obviously if you are buying a home as well. Page as well that so again, in this Keller Mortgage page, and again, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through each one of these pages. What I'll do is I actually have, if you guys want to drop your emails into the comments, what I'll do is I have an actual document, and I'll show you, once you create one of these pages, you'll be able to basically copy and paste the code into that same section, and it'll populate these pages for you. So it's basically a code you copy and paste into the thing that we'll go over, that will give you this, and it connects to your Keller Mortgage portal.
Hey Ted, instead of worrying about emailing back out to everybody, we'll put these on the Facebook group.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. So this one right here, again, let me just. So again, this is actually synced to my Keller Mortgage portal. So if they do click that to apply now, it'll take them through the. And then it'll actually take them to my direct branded portal. Right here, like I said, usually populates a little quicker. Our internet's a little slow today. So that is our Keller Mortgage page. Obviously, with our agents, people ask about schools and things like that. We can't necessarily tell them, these are good schools, these are bad schools. We can just point them in the direction and to find that information in the resources. So we did add a school widget page, which this is obviously with our website, you can search anywhere in the US. The cool thing about this is, in our area, we're a big military area. So our clients can use our website to search where they're going when we are selling their homes. And then this school widget allows them to search pretty much any school in the country. middle school, high school, and get reviews, ratings, college graduation statistics, all that kind of good stuff. So again,
Ted?
use this as a one-stop shop for our clients to be able to get all their questions answered, no matter what their needs are. We have a client testimonial page, which I may need to update this. I did try to mess with the widget, and it wasn't, I was having some issues with it. I need to go look at it again this week. This is the one that I set up originally before we even had the client reviews one. So pretty much any reviews that we do get, we mainly just go here previously and we're putting them in here. So I am going to update that to the new widget once that's working properly. But again, there is always a workaround. And that's what we've been doing here for now. Let me see what else we got up here. And then down here, obviously we got our about us page, and then we have for recruiting another Google form with an application page and stuff like that for applicants and potential agents, things like that. Let me go back here into command. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go to create agent site. So this is typically what I'll do on.
Ted, hold on one second.
Yeah, no problem.
Bring this out to the consumer site for the people so they know exactly click by click how you're accessing where you're going to.
Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna start going down here to the consumer tab in the bottom left. Bring you all the way up here. We're gonna go to our agent site pages, which will again list you all your different site pages here. You can see all of ours. I was trying to play with this morning. I don't know if I have too many agent pages right now. I don't know if there's a limit. David, do you know right offhand if there's a limit to how many sub pages you can have? Because
I'm not aware.
I was trying to do a test one this morning. What's that?
I'm not aware of any limit.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to create one this morning before the class, and I wasn't able to. I published it, but it wouldn't let me pull it up on my live thing. But yeah, so once we get here, we're gonna go configure a new site. Again, you can do a standalone page, which is what we use. I do for landing pages, things like that. But we're gonna go create on my agent site, which will bring you to this page right here. So again, you have a couple different pages. So we're gonna go over the team one first. If you do have a team, all you need to do is drag this here. And pretty much any of these widgets you can actually drag. I'll just drag a couple of different ones over here. Your agent profile. Obviously your contact form. So it's really easy to customize all these different pages. Again, this is the one that I do need to go in here. Your download my app page is obviously something I'd recommend having up there. Really easy. You can add a contact form down here on the bottom as well. And again,
Hey, Ted, could you talk them through step by step what you're doing for the building an app page?
correct. All right. So basically, if we wanted to build if you set everything up in your Kelly guides, which David already went over, when you're creating that, this one right. We're gonna go back. When you're creating this, download my app page. Again, you're gonna have your widgets over here. All we're gonna do is go over here to this bottom right corner and drag this over to the screen. You'll see the green mark at the top. So if you want to add to this, again, you have a couple of different options over here. You can also add your own text as well, images. Now, again, if you do add any content blocks, any additional widgets, as you drag this, you can add the text below, and you'll see this green marker here go below or above. So again, if we wanted to, put something in here about us, we can definitely, type anything that we want here. We don't want that there. If we have a link that we want to attach, we can attach a link as well.
I know there was a question earlier about hyperlinks. But that's where you can add a hyperlink. You can't add those into,
Correct.
can't add them into any of the KW default pages, but you can add them into your custom pages. Why don't we just go ahead and add the app, add the contact form, and then take them through the steps of configuring that.
Okay, so once you go here, you can add your additional contact form down here at the bottom, which again, that's just a drag and drop. And again, look for that green marker. So then we're gonna go to configure widgets down there in the bottom right. So this is where you can kind of go customize what you want this to say.
Can you scroll down so you can see your page, what you did there?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Can you scroll down so we can see what you did there? Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. So now we're on the first widget here, which is the top one, the download my KW app. So again, you'll hit configure widget, which I'll go back really quick. So again, when we're up here in widgets, we'll go down to configure widgets down here. Click on the one you want. And for instance, for this, anything that we want to change, mine's branded to my team. Let's see, download. And you can change this. For now, I'm going to leave that where it's at.
Hey, Ted, it's important to note that on the right-hand side, you see in the subtext, it says the Keller Williams Realty Real Estate Search app. Change that to your app. Change that to the Keller Williams or the TK Team Powered by Keller Williams app. Change that to brand yourself. And this is for everybody, right? This Keller Williams allows you to brand yourself, so take advantage of that. Pay attention to the context that's defaulted in here and see if there's anything that you need to leverage and adjust for your business.
All right, and then this obviously down here at the bottom, the button redirect URL, because your Kelly guides are set up, that's automatically gonna have your customized branded URL link right there. So we're just gonna hit save and apply. All the updates now will be here. We go up here to the top right, you'll see that this is still, the widget 2 is still not being configured. So we'll go up here to the top right corner and go over here to our, scroll down here, to our contact us.
While he's typing that, so we're utilizing some widgets, and widgets are the easiest way for you guys to get comfortable and in adding additional pages through adding your team or contact information or your mobile app, and start to add a couple of fun things to your website. You can obviously from there, as you get more skilled and comfortable, as Tab is showing below widgets, you can build your own pages from scratch, right? Where you can upload images, you can add your own content, you can add your own buttons, you can lay out the pages in 2 or 3 sections. So you're going to need to go in there and play around with things a little bit, but you have full customization to add and build anything that you need.
Hey, David, that page that Ted had with great schools widget, is that a widget that's on here
It's not a widget. He framed in some code from another site. We won't be able to break down every page by page, but we're going to share some links on the page of where you can go get some of those other code that you can custom cut and paste into this.
Yeah, and David, what I'll try to do is I'll try to make a screen recording that we can post with those codes.
Awesome.
So that way you can have a little video where to go copy and paste those codes in and things like that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So then we'll hit save and apply here, and it will update this. Like I said, bear with me, internet's being a little slow today.
So while that's uploading, so Ted, you said you're gonna provide those codes. Is that gonna be on the Facebook group page?
Everything will be posted on the Facebook group for the regional tech page.
Mhm. Let's see, we haven't done what I get updated here. All right, here we go. So that one updated there. So now we're gonna go to save changes, and actually, really quick, you probably want to name this up here in the top left corner. Save changes. Now this is going to pop up, and we're going to want to publish this as an agent site for our, and it will make it visible for us. Yeah. So now on our agent site pages, and this is where I was running into an issue this morning. When we want to make this a live active page on our feed,
Right. Yeah, they changed where things are accessible. So now you have to go to site and app settings.
Yeah, so we go here and we go to our site pages, correct?
That's correct.
So, and then what we're gonna do to make that active published page populate on our web page, we're gonna go here. And this is where I was running into an issue, David, where I don't know if I have so many sites that it's not showing
Gotcha.
past so the test site that I created, for whatever reason right now, as you can see all my other pages that I've created. So for instance, one that I don't have active currently that I'll show you guys. So that way I can still show you how to activate one of those web pages. Like I said, that might just be an issue on my end. But where's my web page? There it is. So here on my page, we don't have a featured listing page right now because we have a couple listings getting ready to go live here this weekend. So that page will go active again. But with that being said, right now we don't have any. So I did deactivate that page for the time being. So if I wanted to add that page and reactivate it, all I would then do is, because I have it created, select it here, hit continue.
Oh, hey, Ted, scroll up a little bit and show them the filling out the page title. And the
Yeah. There you go. So we'll go add page, feature listing, and then to add the page, we'll go.
So it's important to know that the information that you put in here is what's going to populate in your drop-down menu on your website. And you do have to put, you notice that there's an asterisk there for description, title, and slug. So you do have to put something in there.
Definitely make you.
Then you're going to go ahead and where your feature listings is there now. So you go ahead and hit save changes at the bottom of that.
Continue. So now you'll see that my featured listing page is here. So if I do go to my website now, down here at the bottom, we have a featured listing page, which should be I don't know if it's still up there. Okay. So again, and this is an old listing that we had. But basically, this featured listing page is set so that if they click this, it diverts them to this address on the web page as well. Now the cool thing here too, from a customization standpoint, in this drop down, if you want to rearrange where any of these things are based on priority, all you would then do is more or less drag, and you can adjust how those adjust in the let's see.
The one thing that you can't do
Yeah.
yet, and Ted, this might be what we're running into, and we'll have to see, and I'll look into this as well. Can somebody check their mic? Got a very loud background noise there. Sorry about that. Thought I had everybody muted. What you cannot do at this particular point is have subheadings like we could on the other website, where I could bury these below, group them together a little bit more. Right now, they're all dropping down under the page builder on the website, and I can't have additional topic subheadings. That's something that I imagine will come with time, but right now we can only build them out and have them show up on the home screen. All right, so with that, Ted, I appreciate you sharing with everybody.
No problem.
There's obviously a lot that you can do with these websites, right? There's tremendous creativity that you guys can do. And I know it's hard sometimes to say, you know what, how do I know what to share, right? That's tough sometimes, right? I'm a trainer. I get how to do things. I'm not the most creative person in the world sometimes. I have to look and see what other people are doing and kind of replicate what they're doing. So I highly encourage you to go out, see what other websites people are utilizing, see what you want to have on your website, and then come back and try to figure out how to do it. And we'll keep talking. Ted's going to share some of his knowledge, create some Loom videos for you guys to share for the additional breakouts. I'll pull some of those additional pages, and there's some of that on our back end as well. Don't worry, just get creative and keep adding additional things. And the website itself will continue to be enhanced. So I'm going to do, with the last 15 minutes, I'm going to jump into the app side of things a little bit, because the app's important too.
Dave, I have a quick question.
Quickly, sure, go ahead.
With building out pages on the website, do we have the ability, or will we have the ability soon, to build pages much like the buying and selling guide, where they're only visible once clients have a login through the app or the website, as opposed to having a long list of resources on the public facing page?
I'm imagining that to be so. When that is, I don't know. Like you said,
Okay, so not currently.
Not currently, right? We don't have those control mechanisms in place right now. Which, like you said, when you log in, you see the buyer guide showing up, or the feed is showing up once they've created an account. We don't yet have the ability to turn pages on or off that are only account driven, but they're able to do that for certain things. It's just a matter of when they code that out for everything else, is what I would guess. So what I would recommend is that you go to ideas.kw.com, check and see if it's been suggested, because it may have been. If not, promote it, if it has, promote it and get it voted up. If it has not, create that influence and suggest that it gets voted up.
All right, awesome. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, and I agree with that feature. All right, so I'm going to jump back into my screen here. Okay, so we went through the setting up the website first, because in order to you to access your app back end, which is on your dashboard here, you have to have your website configured. So you can't even do things and access things on your agent app from command until you've done the steps that we just walked you through, at the bare minimum, launching your website. So I want you to understand that. So from the consumer page, to get more accessible things for your app backend, right? You're going to come in, you'll land on the landing pages. All right, I hit the wrong button, listen console. Ignore that, that's not live yet. There we go. All right, so you'll land on your landing pages tab, and then you're going to come over here to site and app settings. So in the middle, you'll see your URL. So if you ever need your code, that's right there. Now this is your app code, right? And then if you're using the text code, text 8778 to this. So this will give you your app download page. And if you were to ever share that, if you put that in your email signatures or flyers, this is what it looks like for the consumer. They'll see this landing page. Maybe. There we go. Where they can come here, type in their phone number, and they'll be prompted to download. And when they do download it this way, they will be branded to you. Okay. If they just go into the App Store and download the KW app, it's no different than how it worked before, right? Then they have to search for you. So if you shared it with them, right, share them the link with your code, they'll get it. If they come to your landing page and download it by entering their phone number, they will be branded to you. All right. So from this page, you get Learn More with Kelly Guides. We're getting quite comfortable with the Kelly Guides, right? So now it's going to say, hey, which Kelly Guide do you want to go through? We want to go through the consumer settings. And this one's a little bit quicker and easier than the website build out. Get started. Next. You'll see your app downloader page. On the right-hand side, click the arrow to go next, and you can change the contents that's showing up on your main page for your hero text, right? Your app and codes will automatically populate, so you don't have to worry about editing those. Save and continue. Now you're going to see your timeline guide. So you're going to walk through the couple of things here. So if you haven't checked out your app or activated yourself as a consumer on your website, you haven't seen all of this yet. So you've got your step up guides. There are two guides that are built into the system. There's a buyer's guide and a seller's guide. You want to activate these, okay? So I'm going to choose the buyer's guide first. Next, you're going to see this content. Now, pay attention to the content, as I just warned you, because the default content shows up as a guy named Paul, because Paul was the generic account that they were using and were building out. So you're going to make sure you change Paul or Paula to your name. So make sure you edit that accordingly here in your message guide. Click next. Now you're going to see all of these steps that are going to default for you and your buyer guide. Now you can edit these directly in here. I prefer to edit them from the guide set up on the app page. That's just me. But you literally could go right here. I could shift, I can move these around. I could click on any one of these where I can edit these out. You can change the photography, you can change the headings, you can change the titles, okay? You can delete a step, you can add a step, okay? So you get, again, full creativity. Now, I would not go out and build my 72-page step-by-step through. That might be a little bit overkill, but you may want to. That's entirely up to you. You've got that control. But you can go back through and edit all of these so that that works for you. These will all show up on your app. Add a secondary guide. So you want to add your seller's guide. Next. Again, change this from Paul to your name. You'll see the other side of things, right? You see there's an add a step button, so you can literally build out a step here, right? You notice like showing your home. If you look at your pictures here, I think the default picture that's in there is a Florida home. And there's some palm trees and the coloring's a little bit different. So I actually went in and changed it to one of my listing pictures. Next step, you'll see that your guides are there. You could also build out, maybe you build out an investor's guide, right? So you can add additional guides by building them out through here. I'm going to go ahead and click next, just because like I said, I don't like to activate them all from here. You're going to be prompted to activating your smart plan. So I would go ahead and turn that on. And then you can either add people to it right now by clicking on here, or you can just go back through and add both people, which is what I do. Okay. So you'll see that this is the smart plan that's built to encourage people to download your plan, to download your mobile app through your website, Smart Plans. Plus we're having a Smart Plans class tomorrow. Okay, hold on 1 second. I got World War III breaking out. We all got kids at home, so you understand my plight, or a lot of us do. Okay, So Mary, I told you the best place that I like to edit my guides are right here. So right here, I've got my buying and selling guides. I can come right in here and I can edit. And if I click on any one of these, I get the ability to edit them out. Same as I did when I was building out. Okay, and then there's workspace details. So this is what is seen next. And you'll see that when you click on the app, there's a trigger when they click on them to give them more information and the ability to go to the next step by clicking on completed or done. So again, you really need to go in and experience it before you come back and build these different things. I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. I'll walk through the app a little bit more detail with you, but I wanted you to know where all of these are at. And if I actually scroll to the bottom of this page, it lets me. There we go. I can add a step right here. So for some people are adding like a buyer consultation step or listing consultation or buyer broker agreement to adding a little bit more detail around how you're doing things. And the nice thing about when you do this step-by-step approach, you don't have to sell yourself or anything because you're already showing them this is how we're going to work through a transaction. So I think this is incredibly cool that they've kind of built this in here. There's another place where you can edit that message. So launching it first through the Kelly Guide, but I like managing through the guide builder right here and adding additional changes. Before I go live into the app, let me just check and see if there's any questions on the configuration. Everybody doing okay? All right, no questions. Awesome. So I'm going to share my screen here. Should go to my screen share here. And I'm going to change what I'm sharing. Go to my app. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. So can you guys all see that now? This is my phone. So your app, right? So let's talk about that for a quick second. Your app is not your app, it's the consumer app. There seems to have been a lot of confusion around this when we launched the app, which I understand to a degree, but at the same time, it functioned exactly the same way as it did before, right? That it was a consumer app, it wasn't ours. We couldn't log into it to access it like it was a dashboard for us. So it's branded to you, but it's functioning as a consumer app. So you should have it downloaded on your website by now, on your phone, I'm talking. And so what you're going to see on your screen is where you are. Now, at this point, it's always going to show where you last functioned, were searching the app in. And again, so while you may think differently, this has been tested out in the field with the consumers. And the consumers have said, we want this functionality because a lot of times when they go to show somebody information, they like that it pops up where they last were and where they were seeing the property so they don't have to go back and find them. So even though it is GPS located, when you come to the app, it's always going to open up where the last screen search was taking place. Now you've got this little navigation, where am I now type of button right here. If you click that, it'll just jump to your current location. That's okay. It's that simple. So that's where how it jumps to where am I now. Starts off where was I last. I can jump to where am I now. Okay. When the app first launched, the properties that were showing up in a particular area, as you can see, there's not a whole lot for sale here in Ashburn. The app was showing all property types. So within a week, they actually were able to rebuild some of the functionality, and now you're only going to see active listings on your homepage. I don't know if you're aware of that change, but that happened, and they made that change pretty quickly a couple of weeks ago. You can go into the More button, and you can customize your search. And by your search, I mean you, the consumer, right? So you can filter things out here. Okay, I can change my map view and things like that. So I highly encourage, before you share your app, I know you guys like to just share, understand how the app works. So give yourself a tutorial and play around with anything. You've got draw, right? So I can draw in a particular area where I have that functionality. I can click Save Searches to create a custom search. Okay. And then across the bottom, I've got search, which is what we're doing now. I've got a feed button, okay? This is what's going to start place when you and your consumer start to communicate through the app, or if the consumer starts to share with other people in the app, because they can invite other people, significant others, spouses, mom, dads, brothers, sisters, to share in their experience, which is awesome, because the moment they do that, what happens? It creates a new contact for you in your platform. Here's your guide that we were talking about. This is how it's showing up on their page. You see that there's checks here, because I've been playing with it, and I'm saying, look, when I click on this page, well, of course I click on the lending one. When I click on this and I go for deeper, I get more information, and I can click completed or next step. So you can edit that information as it enhances through their process. And you're tracking step by step where these things go. Buyer, seller, right? Awesome. Go back out. Then they can like certain properties and they can heart them. They can look in details of certain properties. They've got the KW financing there. KW insurance is there. Home details, right? You also things are pushing across. You've got market stats. So the snapshots are pulling in automatically. What locals say is being populated by spatial. Okay, so you don't have the ability to edit that. Walkability scores coming in. Commute times. I love this. This is so cool. And I'm going to show you how to access this, but they could actually put in places up to 3 to track how far homes are from a certain location. Now, this is not tied to Zoom, okay? So be conscious of how up to date this is. And I have not tested this yet at different times of day to see if this varies. It's pulling from Google, but it doesn't say Google Maps. So I'm wary of the exact accuracy of functional drive times. You'll see your school information there coming from statewide rankings and all kinds of information. This is what your consumers are saying, right? And other nearby homes. So this is pretty awesome. They can also like these properties and save them, or click ask your agent and you'll get a text message about information. Now, I do know this is something they're working on enhancing, is that when you click on ask your agent, you'll see the message, but it's not necessarily tied to the particular property. So you kind of have to backtrack or follow up with them a little bit more details, but obviously we'll get much more clarity around that as they build things out. Oop. All right, across the bottom. So in this bottom right corner, it says you. Remember, that's not me, and you'll see CD because I put my son's name in here. It's the consumer. It's not you. So this is their account. And you'll see that you should be defaulted, or they'll see you as their default agent. Okay. They can share the app here. And then they'll get a text message that allows them to share it with their friends with your link. And it's branded to you. And it's worded in such a way that it should. Now, if you're using this, you can go in and change the text and share. Me personally, when I am sharing the text, okay, I'll create my own text message. I will copy my text code and just text them directly. I will not text them directly from my consumer app. It's just not the way I do it. This is for your consumers to share, and it works easier that way. This is where they can add a co-buyer, right? So they can invite an additional people to participate in their journey by adding email addresses, and then they can be linked to that account. They can go into their history and look at different properties that they've looked at. That's all right there for them. If they do click on your contact information, this is what your profile page looks like. Now, only looks like this if you've set up your marketing profile page at the very beginning of command and push the green button so that this all populates across everything else. Okay, so make sure you're testing all this out and you're seeing what's supposed to be seen and everything's configured accordingly. Obviously, they can remove you and change you as well. So don't let your agents become orphans. Make sure you update their information there. And if they need to contact you, then they can contact you by phone. The text functions have been turned off. That wasn't working right. So right now they contact you by phone. but that will come back. All right. So that's the app. Any questions? I'm going to go into the app a little bit more, show you a couple of things. We're running a little bit long, so if you can stick with me, great. If not, I understand. I see some people have already dropped off. I know there's some other things going on. Any questions on the consumer experience of what I just walked through on the app for you guys? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you got a question. Not? Okay. So I'm gonna jump back into Command here real quick. I'm gonna share my screen again and go back to my home screen. Okay, so now I am back inside of Command. Now, some of the questions that you guys will get are, how do I know when people are branded to me? Glad you asked. So from your database, you can filter through your contacts to see who has downloaded your app. Now, one, you've got this little bell at the top. And when the bell, or when somebody registers, you'll get a bell notification, which will also push through to Kelly to alert you that you have a new contact that has downloaded your mobile app. The other thing you can do, you can go to filters from your homepage. And at the very bottom, you've got this branded to me button. You can turn that to yes and apply. And you'll see a list of people that have downloaded your mobile app or created an account on your website. That's what these check marks are. That means that they have an agent site connection. It doesn't differentiate between the app and the website because they're one and the same, but they'll be checked off for you. I know there were some issues with that, but I think they've cleaned them up for people that have downloaded and using your app. If you happen to come on here and you do a filter and you see the checkbox is actually fully green, that means they are actually on your website or on your app as you speak. How cool is that, right? All right, so that's the app. There's lots of ways to share it as we covered. You could even get a vanity domain name. Like, so I have added one to my subdomain. So I got app.daviddonaldson.net. Daviddonaldson.net is my GoDaddy website. And I added, and it's free, to add a subdomain on that page where I put app.daviddonaldson.com. I'm going to go into GoDaddy in a minute. And you see if I click on that, it bounces to my landing page. I also bought a vanity domain, search real estate. Mobi. And that also bounces my site. I'm not using that one, but these are different ways that I wanted to think of through how I want to share my pages and what platforms I might want to share them. Some people have gone through and created a custom QR code and redirected their page. You can get real creative with this stuff. All right, so I'm going to go into GoDaddy now. I can remember my account. Show you how to bounce forward some of your websites. All right, go. So I'm going to show you the two things. I'm going to show you how to forward your domain name to your website and how to add the subdomain to your existing website. So my website is daviddonaldson.net right here. So I'm going to go into my DNS. And you'll get on this records page. So for those of you that were utilizing Placester in the past, this will actually say domains.myrealestateplatform.com is what this will say right here. You need to edit that, delete out where it says domains.myrealestateplatform.com and put in the @ sign or the @ and save the TTL to 1 hour. That has to be changed, okay? That's the only change you'll need to update. The only change you should need to update. Then at the bottom, you've got forwarding. So you want to come into your forwarding section, Okay, you want this forwarding to be HTTPS. You do not need to put HTTPS over here. You just paste your KW subdomain, right? And then you can click the preview button to make sure it's connected properly. Set it with forward only. Do not set it forward with masking. Do not get caught up in that I want it to just be my vanity domain at the top and nothing else, because it's not going to work for you. We will at some point be able to index like we could previously in our Playster sites. We just can't do it right now. If you try to make it forward with masking, you're going to run into issues. It's not going to function properly. Okay. Save all that work that you do. Now below this, you see subdomain. You can add a subdomain. You see right here, I've already got app. So I would go in there and I would type in app.daviddonaldson.net. I would set it to HTTPS, and then there I would paste my KW app page. Boom, done. Like, the niceness of subdomains is you can send it to different things. Maybe it's info at, and maybe you're tying that to your contact page on your website. You can get creative with these things. So that's how you forward and set up some app.subdomain pages. It's 11:10. I ran a little bit long. I covered just about everything that I wanted to cover for you guys. I'll be more than happy to have lost over half the class. I know we ran long, but this is recorded, so that's cool. But I'll answer any other questions that I can that we're online for. Remember, Ted's going to post some additional videos about the codes that he's created, so we appreciate his time today. And I appreciate you all sticking with me. But so go ahead and open Microsoft if you got questions.
Hey, David.
Yes, David.
I'm sorry, I know you've told me this many times, but I just want to make sure that I have that, the Facebook group.
Yeah,
So I
good
can
question.
put a search. I'm pretty sure I have it, but what is it called again? It's,
I'm going to paste it for you in chat right now.
okay, perfect.
So if you go to Facebook, you'll see it's right here, KW Virginia, West Virginia region page. I'm going to go ahead and post that into the chat room. Good question. Okay, there it is.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Who else has a question? Okay, then I guess you guys are digesting everything accordingly. That's great. So remember, we got another class tomorrow and another one on Thursday. Tomorrow's class, I believe, is on smart plans. Let's take a look at the calendar here. Yep, smart plans. So Ted will be driving us through that again tomorrow. And then on Thursday with Michael Siddell, we'll be going and understanding how to utilize designs. And then Friday, we've got the big regional training event at 10 o'clock. So we'll be featuring some additional agents in our region that are continuing to build business in the shifting market. So you're going to want to make sure that you guys all attend that. That'll be a separate link. That'll be emailed out for everybody. I don't want to hang up on you. I want to make sure that I answered all the questions. Is there anything else that I haven't addressed for you guys? All right. Then we are good. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow. And I'll post this recording on the Facebook group.
Thanks, David.
Take care.